Well, good morning. At least it's
Good
morning
morning.
here. Hello,
Well, I'm getting
hello.
into the morning vibes with you, so
Good
Well,
morning.
hello, everyone. I am Stacey Gonzalez, and you are watching Energized Mindfulness. And I have my two amazing, wonderful, significantly energized co-hosts, Nikki Vinogradov, who we've been doing this now. I think this is our, I don't know where we at,
I think
maybe
it's ninth,
no, we're
ninth,
more than 9, aren't we?
really
Feels more than 9.
somewhere.
Somewhere there, right?
We have gotten past the legendary 3 session mark, which supposedly podcast and many live things end after 3 because people just feel like, well, it's not working. Why do keep going? So we've passed that mark
We've
long
made
time
it, we've
ago.
made it. And now we've added into our fold, we've brought in the talented, the incredible Maestro Stevens.
Thank you so much. You do so great with those introductions.
Well, you know what? It's all
You
true.
got
It's all true and real. You guys make it so easy, man. You make it easy. So excited about today. And Nikki, kick us off. Bring us through where we've been and where we're headed today.
Yeah, so basically, by the way, hi everyone. The previous week we talked about vision and energy, and that's really the base. Actually, without that session, none of the sessions that we'll be doing through the months will be basically following a structure. None of these sessions wouldn't have proper context if we wouldn't have first talked about vision. So what we can recap is that vision is the thing that puts everything in our life in context and gives us the energy. And however, if we only have energy and this why and the vision, and but no clear channel, no clarity on how do I bring it into the world, then unfortunately that excitement easily can turn into frustration and anxiety. And that's why today, that's the topic exactly. It's planning, but not in any kind of boring way, but truly like how is it possible that planning actually directly affects our confidence and our clarity and our calm? So that's the topic today. And do you want Stacey me to share, as I often do, kind of 3 points that I feel like is really great if we manage to communicate to the
I mean, how
listeners?
can I say no to that? What am I going to tell you?
Right.
No, you
Yeah,
can't share
no,
those 3 points.
that would be a fun, awkward moment. And so, right, we'll probably look into like, so why? Like, why is it so that plan actually affects our calm and confidence and our clarity? And I would even say that surprisingly, plan is the foundation for creativity, spontaneous thinking, and flow. It's not supposed to like jail you into some rigid structure. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is like, what are very common mistakes that people make when it comes to planning, and why does it even matter that those mistakes are made? And well, what would be the opposite? What would be the signs that your plan is made really well? And then at the end, we are going to share with you, or we don't even know what they will be, but the most valuable takeaways, because we on purpose put ourselves into this position where there's a little bit of plan, but also that we can be spontaneous so that the right things can come. And that's why I'm saying even we don't know it. And as a last thing, I also wish to be able to communicate that it's so good to look at planning as a mindset, as an approach, as a perspective and a tool rather than an event or a moment in time. And that's the foundation, I think, for today's session.
Yeah, yeah, great. Well, and I want to make sure that we say good morning and hello. We've got and Juliet, good afternoon. Jen Hester, nice to see you this morning, and Christine Seagrave. So thank you for being with us this morning.
Yeah, yeah. Good morning.
And
Good morning.
Maestro, go ahead, take us away.
Oh well, I just wanted to say good morning to everybody as well, as well too. But no, to your point, Nikki, I like that you had position planning as a tool. That was real good.
Mm.
You know, people don't always think of it that way. So yeah, that was definitely one thing, and just the foundation in general of the plan. A lot of people don't understand how foundational it actually is, and it's like you said, it's not just a moment in time. You know, it's something that
Mm.
continues on. So I thought that was a good point to touch on.
Yeah, and as we're kind of thinking about this idea, one of the things that we talk about a ton is a vision is not a plan and a plan is not a vision, and you need
Mhm.
both of those, right? And so we're going to dig into what that means and what that looks like today. I guess for me, this idea of you have a vision, right? And this vision is inside of you, and you're constantly it's evolving, it's being uncovered and discovered. You're
Mhm.
getting more clarity around that vision um, over time. How do you think about taking that vision and leaning in towards that vision with a plan, but not getting stuck? Because like here's something that happens for me.
Mhm.
I create this plan, like in 6 weeks, I want whatever outcome. And so I make all my steps towards the plan. But
Mhm.
as I go through my plan, I start to discover or uncover more, which may change what I think the vision is or what the outcome looks like.
Mhm.
And so sometimes I get stuck with not wanting to plan because then I feel like I lock myself in because I'm a
Mhm.
woman of my word, right? So if I say I'm going to do it, I kind of like, wait, my plan was this. So how
Mhm.
do you have that flexibility when you create a plan?
Yeah, you used really good word to evolve, because often when people think about planning, you so often hear saying, but I don't know what's going to happen 3 or 5 years from now, and so I'm not going to make a plan. But the point of plan, of course, is, and I will return more to the core of what you were saying, the point of plan is not to predict the future, but it's to really our best attempt to shed some light on what are these steps. And as we are setting the light and taking the steps, exactly we'll come to the moment where we realize, wait a minute, actually this is not really working, it's not what I really want. And I think the main point about, and this, like, it's good to address here, one of the main mistakes we make is that we get too stuck. We get stuck because we start looking too much on the plan. We start kind of get focused on what we are doing, and as soon as that happens, then it's like we look up and, right, that's my vision. Like, how does this what I'm doing contribute to the vision? And because the plan is always serving the vision. And exactly to your point, how we can get stuck in it is when we forget the vision, and the plan kind of gets how would I say, the plan all of a sudden becomes the vision. It becomes the important thing, but plan is not important in itself. So in those moments, it's about stepping back and, again, okay, what serves my vision the best way possible in this moment. And the evolving word that you use is so important, because it does evolve, because we evolve. I was just having this conversation with a client where is at one point that will never, in some way, will never achieve our vision, and that's not even the point. We'll get to the top of the mountain, and then we realize that there's another mountain, and that might easily become like, oh, I didn't get there, but actually it should be like, whoa, another refreshing journey. Now I have grown into this person who can climb that mountain.
Yeah.
So what really evolves is our view of ourselves and life, I would say. Hopefully that little bit sheds light on the being stuck and yet evolving.
Yeah, it's got me wondering and thinking about this idea of like, a vision, and
Mm.
individuals have a vision inside of themselves, right? And so as I think about my vision over the years, my vision has changed and evolved. At one point in my career, I thought my vision was to be a teacher. And then my vision was to, I thought it was this external who I should be,
Mm.
what I should do with my life kind of a thing. Um, and I do think that there's a part of that. There's a part of what you do is somehow attached to who you are in your vision. I'm wondering how that connects in ways that makes sense. Um, that still feels like it's true to me, right? Because I know there's this
Mm.
calling in my life and there's things that I'm meant to do. And somehow they're tied with my career, but there's
Mm.
more to it than my career. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yes, and I think that's the uh, part where, if the plan in some way is actually the expression of the vision. For example, for me, it's not important for me to be coach, but yet coaching is the most closest and aligned expression that I can imagine for my what I consider to be my purpose. So if that kind of touches the point about that the plan always, if we remember to keep it in the context of how is it expressing the vision, and in some way, like you said, that being if I understood right, that this being teacher was kind of external vision,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yes.
and yes, and it is external vision. It's almost like it's the expression of the internal vision. And maybe very briefly, we are so familiar with you, Stacy and Maya, so we talked about vision. What to mention here, what we mean about vision is this deep, and why we use the word discover is that it's really strange thing is that we cannot invent our own vision, because when we connect deep within ourselves, we could wonder that why is it, for example, that for me it might be that I really resonate and get energized and inspired when I see the growth of people. And that's probably same for both you, Stacey, and Maestro, but you might have a little bit of different expression. Somebody might have this nurturing expression, and somebody might have more of the really challenge people and push people far. And it's very difficult to say why is it like that, that some certain expression of the vision is resonates more with us than something else. And just to a little bit condense this to the point, is that the vision, how would I say it, touches the aspects that are very difficult to express beyond plan.
Yeah. Well, and there's something about this idea of, for me at least, I think I shared, and I don't know if I shared it in the live or not, but it's worth repeating again. I was working with my little coaching group, and we meet once a week, and we hang out and have fun, and we practice, and we work with each other, and so we do a lot of visualizations, and so we're doing this visualization, and visualization is a part of your vision, right? So I'll also add
Right.
this. If you're not actively doing visualization work, it's a good way to help you uncover and discover your vision.
Yes.
And so, right, guided, there's guided visualizations. You can YouTube them. We can certainly give you suggestions on that. But what I've found is that the vision is more about who you are versus what you do. And
Yeah.
so I was doing this visualization, and they have you, like, in this specific process that we were doing, you identify a time in your life. And I'll share this here because this will be real practical if you're wondering, how do you kind of discover, uncover your vision? So, you come up with a value, a characteristic, a trait that you really want to embody, because that is more around your vision. So for me, one would be to be confident, right? I may come across super confident, but I get nervous. I have anxiety. We've talked about anxiety, so I get nervy. I know that about myself. And so one of the things in my vision is for me to be confident and clear. And so the first step is to kind of identify who you want to be, that part of you that you really want to be. And so confident is it for me.
Right.
Second step is then to remember a time, like put yourself in an exact moment where you were displaying that confidence, where you felt super confident. For me, it was this moment where I was presenting to a parent group. I don't know, there were probably about 1,000 parents in the audience, live audience. And I just was super comfortable. I didn't need to look at my notes. You know how when you're nervous, sometimes you feel it in your hands or in your stomach or in your feet. I felt like the energy was perfectly distributed throughout my body. It was great. So you take that moment, and then you put yourself like into a new situation, a blank slate, right? So a random street, and you zoom in. What does Stacey Gonzalez look like when she's confident walking down this street? Da, 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 right? What do I look like? And so in my mind, I was like, well, I'm noticing the way I'm walking. My shoulders are back. I'm kind of smiling a little. I zoom in on my face. What does that look like, right? What are those characteristics? And it was really cool as I was doing this, and the team was guiding me through it.
Right.
And as I was doing this, I had this beautiful moment where I realized, like, there was Mary Poppins, if you think of who Mary Poppins is from the show, and Glinda the Good Witch of the Wizard of Oz, this combined personality of these two women who embody these traits that I couldn't have created. Like the moment happened where they both kind of popped into my vision, and it was amazing. It was just this awesome moment where now I've taken those two women, the embodiment of them, and I'll joke with myself. I'll be like, "All right, Stacey, you're putting on your, Mary Poppins, Glinda the Good Witch, right? You're going to embody that, and that then is how I can show up into new places, in new ways." So awesome.
That was so well expressed. What I went too technical what I tried to express, and you expressed it in such a lively way, because exactly the vision, why it cannot be really figured out, is because it's in the subconscious mind, and subconscious mind speaks exactly the way you just expressed. It speaks through feeling and energy and sensation and through symbols, and then from that we can kind of okay, from this feeling, like how would I express this through behavior, through actions, through speech, and then what would be the best way to bring this intention, bring this into the world. That's how it comes to the plan. So that was so well described.
I agree, and I think too. You made a good point about the identification stage, like identifying, and not to veer off. I want to take it back to the whole planning aspect, but there's a lot of parallel for, as an example, in my field when it comes to any type of branding or marketing. So much parallels because you have to identify where it is a person wants to be. Same thing with whether it's personal, whether it's for a business. So asking those really tough questions, and I think a lot of people, that's where they get stumped when it comes to planning, is because they don't know how, or they don't want to, or they don't understand those really tough questions. Only because I think it's a little easier to envision, even though visioning is not easy, but I think it's a little easier to envision where you want to be and what you want to have, especially I can't speak for you, Nikki, but in America, we're hit with the American dream every day, all the time, everything. But the questions that you have to really ask yourself, I think those are where people really get tripped up at sometimes, because I think that really helps give direction in the planning. Like, why are you even planning in the first place?
It comes to my mind is when I started as a coach, one of my first clients, there was this moment that really hit home that how important vision is, because she came to me that she wanted to manage her time better. And because I wasn't yet so experienced coach, I didn't yet know what was kind of the issue, what questions to ask. So we went actually through her schedule and planned it super well. 2 weeks later, she came to the session, and she had been struggling with this for years, and she had many coaches and so on. We planned her schedule to the detail because the assumption was that if she really knows how to do it and what to do, she will do the things. And so she came to the next session. She had not done almost any of those things, or certainly even the things she had done, she wasn't very happy about. And intuitively, I asked her a little bit of challenge in that, by the way, why are these things important to you? And she was quiet for a while, and she had a little bit of tears in her eyes because she said, they are not important to me. They're important for others. And like, boom, what a realization. Everything that the person was doing, none of them was important to her. So that's why exactly, there's no direction, there's no context for the how and what am I going to do if we don't know. And it's a lot deeper than just why, just like they said, like who and who else is being impacted. So exactly like your master saying is that it's nearly impossible to move. And like, okay, we could put it like this: if we only have vision, we might have quite a bit of energy, but no channel or no clear expression for it, and excitement turns into anxiety. But if we only have a plan, then we'll constantly struggle, we get stuck, and we get taken down by any mood, because there's not this inner robustness. Just why am I actually going in that direction?
Yes. Well, and I love this. Andrew Wilson, who
Yeah,
is
he said it.
Andrew's and Andrew and his wife Carrie are best friends. They lived with us for a while. So I'm super excited that he popped in today because we've known them for over 20 something years. But I love this. Articulating an internal vision places a purpose upon your activities. And I'd even extend that to an internal vision places a purpose on your plan, right? So to your point about that client that you were working with, if we don't have a deep sense of purpose, the plan feels hollow. It becomes that, why am I doing this? And to your
Mm,
point, you start to realize I'm not doing this for the calling in my heart, the purpose in my heart. I'm doing this to please the cultural societal expectations in some way.
mm,
And there's a lot of fear around that. I was talking to somebody yesterday and I was saying about like just things I'm thinking about in my life and changes and work I'm doing. And I made some comment about like, if I wanted to shave my head. I don't think I want to shave my head, but I said, what if I'm doing this deep work and then like something comes up and I end up like there's parts of ourselves that we just don't want to see because we're almost afraid of, if we see the true vision for what it is, who we're really called to be, the amazingness of who we are in this world. There is a part of that is scary, that is like you're shedding parts of you that are seem culturally acceptable. We all want to be fit in with the tribe, right? All that kind of stuff. And so doing the true deep vision work, there's
mm,
parts of it that are, Maestro, right? That's scary.
It is, and I want to oppose a question to both of you all. As far as planning, um, when someone is planning, do you think it's more important, or who is it more important to, when it comes to? Because can we agree that it takes a village to raise a plan? Like they say, raise a child, right? So, don't take that T-shirt, y'all, if y'all look at that. But all joking aside, how important is it for a plan for other people to understand the plan versus just the person doing the planning? And I'm only posing this because an
mm,
example would be, and I can only use from my own experience. So excuse me if this is not a spiritual, based example, but an instance would be a strategy. I often tell people that I work with, you're not creating the strategy just for you. You're creating it for the people that are going to help you bring the vision to life. Because if they
mm,
don't understand, they can see the vision all day, but if they don't understand
mm,
how to get there, and you don't understand how to get there, it's less likely somebody else is going to be able to take your, use to make a plan, create a plan, and take that and get to your vision. There's going to have to be something.
mm,
So, how important do you feel when it comes to planning, personal, even with family? Say you're planning to go to
mm,
a trip and take some. Well, you still need your husband or your partner, the kids. So, people have to be involved into this plan. So, how important is it
mm.
for other people to be involved? Does that make sense? What I'm saying, as far as
Yeah, I'm laughing because one example came to my mind. And because it is like,
I mean,
if
it's
it's
always a
just
good thing when we get the Finnish guy to laugh. I mean, that's always that means we're hitting
yeah,
something.
basically like let's say when Americans are laughing, it's equivalent when Finnish person is like this. This is the same as
that's a great poker face, by the way.
and uh, right, when it's, of course we need to understand our plan, but when there's other people involved, especially in companies and in families, then well, it's pretty useful that they know. But why I was laughing is that once with one client, he was really upset, and we laughed at. I'm laughing because we laughed at this with him. He was saying, you know, I have this vision for the family, how the family should be, and the vacation and the house we'll be having, and so on. And my wife is not on board at all, and it's like nobody's supporting it, and so on. Then I asked, "What? So how was it when you talked with them about it?" And they said, I've never talked with them about the vision, about the plan or the vision. So yeah,
There
it's
we
pretty
go.
important that they know
Well,
about it.
and it's true, right? And Maestro, you bring up a really good point, because there's something about when you start living for yourself and from your vision, and really, really, truly doing that work to discover that. The fallacy is that people are going to reject that, but it's not. It's you're worried about the rejection that may
Mm,
come from that, right? That's your fear. Because what actually happens is, as you start to get more in alignment with your vision, the purpose for your life, the vision for your life, you start to make room for other things to come into. I'm getting some feedback. I don't know why that is. Maybe that's just not. Let me try that. But as you start to make room for that in your life, right? You start to really dig in. It's just things are gonna come off. I kind of see it as a shedding. You're gonna let go of things that do not serve your vision, because
Right.
you can't see your vision. You can, but you will lie to yourself. Once you see your vision and you start to make strides to move towards that vision and to be all of who you are to be towards that, parts of you will shed. You will let go of things. When you let go of things, think about this. It's simple. This is like easy math. When you subtract and you let go of things, you have more room in your life for new things, right? So
Hmm.
I think about it like, for me, as I've people who have left my life, right? It's not that they left my life because they were upset with me, or they don't like me anymore, or they don't want to be friends with me anymore. It's just that in this time and space, they're not in my life anymore. And as a result of that, what happens? New other relationships emerge that are now taking me to the next level. Working with Nikki, no, working with you, Maestro, right? New relationships emerge. And so I think that that's just something to be really cognizant of, that the change is going to happen, and to like kind of just adjust and get comfortable with that.
And I want to continue from that, because that's so important point, because we can actually really get lost and affect our relationship in negative way. And this sounds a bit weird. We can affect our relationship in negative way if in our vision and plan there's any expectations of how others should be, even no matter how noble it might seem. I'll give you one example that happens very often. When a person has difficulty in dealing with negative emotions other people, often what pops up in their vision is value that they say harmony. And in this harmony, they want everybody to be happy. But this is actually not wish for happiness. This is the ego's strategy of trying to avoid negative feelings by trying to make sure everybody else is happy. And this will, first of all, it will never work, because, well, you cannot make everybody happy, and people are not responsible for being happy for us. So this is something to be very aware, because it's a very subtle thing. And this might sound very harsh, and I think it goes along with what Stacy was saying, that like some things need to be shed, and then new relationships can happen. Is that it might sound harsh to say that, if in your vision, if in your values, you say something like family is important, is actually family is not a value. And what we need to discover in those discussions from, why is family important to me? Like, what is important? Well, I want everybody to be happy. Okay, why is it? Who are you when everybody is happy? Then I'm fulfilling my responsibility. Okay, actually, it's not important that your family is happy. It's important that you do your best to take responsibility for your family, and that's
Right, because
go ahead.
when you're changing like this, when you are making strides towards your vision, I don't even know if it's happy as much as comfortable, right? People become uncomfortable, and you become uncomfortable because you've trained people to expect certain things from you. So as you start to change and evolve and grow, now you need to think about, like, well, how do I communicate this? Because I've trained them to expect me to react this way or to be this certain way. And now I'm not that way. It changed inside of me, but nobody knows that until I communicate that in a way that makes sense
Mhm.
to my friends and family. And so there's that. It's this teeter-totter feel, right? You feel like you're on this little bit of this teeter-totter. And
Mhm.
so as you're going through that, just it's about being, Andrew's wife, Carrie, be kind to yourself, she would say. Be patient with yourself. And that is true. Be kind, be patient. The words will come that you need to be able to express who you are in
Mhm.
greater ways, to be able to express that to your friends and family as you're evolving towards your vision. Please drop your questions in. We are going to, Christine, I see your beautiful quote. I don't know if there's enough space on the screen. I'm going to try to show it there. Um, she,
Almost.
she's she, almost right. Each to each a looking glass reflect the other that doth pass, right? And so this idea of we see ourselves in the other, we're able
Mhm.
to reflect.
Yes.
And many times it's scary when we see ourselves. It's
Mhm.
scary when we are come face to face with it's easy to look at everybody else, right? But it's hard when we see ourselves. So please drop questions in. We're going to go
Mm.
into a guided meditation in a few minutes as we kind of close here. But I want to make sure that we meet, your needs and what you have. Hi, Bill. Glad that you are here. Nice to see you. Um,
I believe I have a good question that
Can I
I'm sure some. I'm
can
sorry.
I very super quickly add something, and then I promise to be quick. So Stacy said
is that
about the
possible for you to be
yes,
quick? Okay.
yes,
All right.
here that we are like in this balancing act, and that we are being kind to ourselves when we are expressing our new vision, we are going towards our new plan. Is that it's really important that we understand that we will be clumsy at the beginning, and and what is often what I see is when people go like overboard completely with planning, and usually you discover that behind there is this idea that I have a little bit of fear, that new thing, I'm afraid of it, but if I really plan it and do everything, the fear will dissolve. But it's so useful to know that it won't. It's rather like this: you're going to attack or fight a dragon. The plan is not going to make it less fearful, but maybe you have the right weapon and a shield with you. That's what plan can do. It can prepare us, but it cannot rid us of experiences that are scary and that we actually need to have. We need those experiences. The end.
Mhm.
I was quite short.
The
That
end.
was good. I mean, I'll touch on that and ask this question because you made a good point as far as fear is concerned and being afraid. And I do want to take it back to taking some practical takeaways that we promised the audience, action that we promised the audience before. Um, what would they need to do in order to get rid of that fear? And at the same time, do you all feel that the commitment is a big part of planning? Because Stacey, I heard you talk about you know the evolution of what we're going through life. But I would also pose a challenge to a person that, or understanding that all plans aren't created equal.
Mhm.
So oftentimes plans don't work because we're not working the plan. Like we get a hurdle and we jump off the bank, we jump off the ship. So
Yeah.
how
Mhm.
important is commitment to a
Yeah.
plan, and how
Yeah.
often do you need to keep changing the plan
Mm.
before it's time to really take hold of
Yeah.
what we planned here? Like, we haven't really touched on that part yet.
Yeah, if I could give a practical takeaway, right? If you said what is the most practical takeaway you could give from today that people if you could make this little shift, this one shift, this would be the one thing I would say. If you can shift your thinking around this, I think everything else will come. Everything else will come. It would be changing from looking at things from commitment and changing that to looking at things from consistency. So this from me, it is less about commitment and it is more about consistency. And if you can determine, and like this, right? However, we consistently show up on Thursdays and do this live. We have a plan, we have some goals, but like we are continually getting better. The vision is becoming more clear. We're evolving in what we're doing because we've purposed to be consistent and not perfect, consistent. And we've carved out time to do that. So if you can find ways for
Mhm.
you, and I don't mean consistent once a year, right? I mean consistent,
Right,
consistent in reasonable degrees. You know what that is inside of you.
right.
For me, meditation. I don't do my meditation practice perfectly. I don't have Nikki probably. I don't. If he tells us what he does, it will blow us all up, blow all our minds, and we're going to all walk away feeling completely inadequate when he tells us how often he meditates, how much and what his routine looks like. But I can't compare myself. My consistency level isn't there yet. It's just not. So my consistency level is if I can do 15 minutes twice a day, most days, you need 2/3 vote, right? If
Right.
you've read Atomic Habits, he says it's 2/3. right? So you want to hit that mark about 2/3 of the time, and you're winning. You're winning in your consistency.
Correct. Yes, consistency. And
Good answer.
what there's so many practical takeaways that I would want to give, but let me try to condense it in and look at it in this way. That first is like this big event of vision and planning, like this 1 week maybe out of the year where you truly go deep into it. And I would even say that the vision is not strong enough until you have had the moment where you cry because you recognize something so great in you that you
Yeah.
are like, whoa, like
Right.
that you recognize something so great in you that you would be so deeply sad if that greatness cannot come into the world. Like that's the level of vision. And then, okay, how do I express it? And really go through the big picture, the areas of your life, the priorities in those areas. How will I bring them practically into the world? What are the actions? What are the goals? And then after that, the most practical thing, and often that helps us to evolve with the vision and nurture the vision and nurture the plan, is to every day do a bit. Like I do every day. And this really, it might sound like a lot if I say every day, but every day simply in the evening, 5 minutes, I sit exactly like this down next to the bed and okay, tomorrow, like who can I be? Like looking at my vision, like what are the 3 things that I want to be able to do tomorrow? Okay, those 3 things, if I can manage to do those three things, great. And imagine if you do it every day. It's 5 minutes, but it's like you're every day connecting with your plan, and it will, the most amazing thing that will happen, you will notice that you will even automatically go towards those important things. You will do those tasks because you have so much point that, and we could say that planning, maybe I'll finish with this, that planning in the end is telling ourselves where we are going. It's giving instructions to us, and it's really our best attempt to kind of map out the steps in front of us so that it's not this foggy swamp of anxiety where we don't know what is there between us and what is important to us.
Right. Right.
Sorry, I'm looking for the meditation link for Mondays. So on Mondays we have a Zoom meditation. I know Juliet said that she's going to miss the meditation here at the end. Every Monday we have just a Zoom, and so you're more than welcome to come in, and we won't talk as much, we promise, and we go straight into meditation to start our week. And I'll drop the link. My computer's going really slow because we're live streaming today, so I'll drop those links in as we get ready to jump into the meditation for today.
What was, Maestro, for you, if you would condense, what was something that you wish that you will remember, or that our takeaway that will spread far and wide?
Well, I would say I think Juliet touched on it when Stacy was making her point about consistency. I love that metaphor. I love the just bringing it, turning this into something else that I think is a lot more achievable and a little easier to digest and less pressure. I would simply put it. So I agree with Juliet with the consistency. And is it reasonable degrees, in reasonable degrees, I think she said. That was
Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you. Thank you for the awesome conversation. Certainly always fun. We're going to go into a guided meditation. So, Maestro, appreciate you.
Yes. Thank you,
Hope you
sir.
will be joining us again. We love having
absolutely.
you with us, and we also are open. So if there's other people in the audience that want to pop in, we'll pull people up, ask your questions live. We're open, right, Nikki? We're
Yes,
here.
we
We're
are.
ready. We're ready for you. So,
Maestro has
Maestro, we're
set
gonna
the
kick
bait.
you out.
Oh, well, thank you for having me again. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank
And
you. All right. So today's meditation is more visualization, and it will be. I don't know what exactly we will do, but I have a little bit of idea for what we will do. So it will be complex, not complicated, complex. And why I want to say this is that just you can be relaxed about how you will experience it and see it just with the best of your abilities. Follow the guidance. There's nothing you should specifically be seeing when it comes to visualization, because just like if you now imagine ice cream, you don't see it in your mind's eye like you would see with your eyes, but you still know how ice cream looks like. So in similar way, why I want to say this is sometimes you can see when people are doing visualizations for the first time is that their eyes and their face is like this because you're trying to force them to see something. So just relax into this, and what we will do is we will walk through a little bit of timeline. We will actually do some, we could say, mindful planning of the future, and I will guide us through that, and let's see where we'll go.
All right.
And in order to bring the best in us and those dreams, desires, insights, clarity, and energy into the surface that we definitely do have, we can relax a bit so that we can become more aware of all those things that are in our subconscious mind, which is in some way a mysterious place, and yet it's not a place. It's something that is present all the time, and you can, when your mind relaxes, you can become aware of it. And when you are connected with your subconscious mind, things flow. There's clarity. It's easy to express yourself because you're connected to the deeper parts of you. So we are not really going into some strange place, actually simply experiencing something that is present always under all that different kind of noise that we have in our mind. So having said that, as the first thing, if you can have your back straight as possible, but in relaxed way, and relaxed also, and your neck straight and in gentle, deep, relaxed way. If you can breathe all the way to your toes, as if you were through your nose, through your throat, through your chest and stomach and thighs, as if you were breathing so that the inhalation fills your whole body all the way to your toes, and then in relaxed way you can allow the breath to come out. And you can continue doing this while I guide us a bit. You can become aware of the whole outline of your body, your whole bodily awareness, the upper part of your body, the lower part of your body, the mid part of your body. You can sense this almost tingling, a little bit of radiating sensation on your skin all over your body. Sense of aliveness that you can sense all over your body while you are breathing. And now if you can expand this awareness, light awareness and sense of space, if you can spread that into the whole room. If you're outside, then your surroundings. If through your whole body, front, back, left, right, above, below you, you can sense the room you can sense that everything is becoming a bit more lighter, a bit more transparent, a bit more dreamy. The whole house, the whole neighborhood. You can sense, especially through your stomach area, as if you were sensing your surroundings through your stomach and chest, even your whole body. And even the whole city, the sky above you, the ground below you, all of that inside your field of awareness, as if you were sensing it. Everything around is becoming a bit warmer, a bit lighter, a bit more dreamy, a bit more transparent. And you can allow yourself to almost sense or see with your mind's eye as atoms and all the particles move inside all the material, your body, the room, the house, even the neighborhood, the city, the whole planet. Like if you can sense this vibration of all the atoms, they're almost dancing, they're playing, ready to go somewhere, ready to pop up. And now all this surrounding, above you, below you, on your left side, on your right, and in front and behind, everything dissolves. Everything just merges into the space. You can fully relax into this spaciousness. And you know this, that you have bare feet. And your feet feel warm. You have sunk them there deep in this sand on this beach. There's a endlessly gigantic ocean in front of you. Blue. There's blue sky, and you're fully relaxed there. And as you walk closer towards the ocean in front of you, you'll notice that all the water slowly fades away. All the ocean, all the water in front of you slowly fades away. And in front of you now appears a line, a timeline. Now all the beach, even the sun, they kind of fade into the background. And the only thing you are aware of is there's this path, however it appears to you, right in front of you. And it's the timeline of your life. It's the timeline of your life in front of you. Now if you can sense or feel, what is it that 7 days from now, 7 days from now, what would make the next 7 days truly worthwhile? What is truly meaningful? What is worth to being consistent with? What is truly worth committing to. Imagine that everything was possible, no limitations with money, nor time, no skills. Everything would be provided for you. If there was no limitations, what would you do during the next 7 days? What would be meaningful to do? You are still standing there. In front of you is the timeline, and you are discovering, sensing what's meaningful, what's worthwhile, what's important to bring to the world. And now, with all the questions that I asked, there's no right or wrong answer. What feels, what do you think in the next 7 days is something that is important and possible for you to do? What might be three things that you could achieve and complete in the next 7 days? And allow the answers, and allow the ideas, allow the right things to come to you through your stomach, through your chest. And now, if you can step on this line or this path in front of you, and imagine that you're walking forward, and you are walking into the next week, you are walking through the next 7 days, and you're simply walking there, and around you, you are seeing the actions you are taking. You can see yourself, whatever it is that maybe you're sitting on your computer doing something, maybe you're having some conversation. What are three things that you can commit to and that you will do during the next 7 days? See yourself doing them. How are you doing them? You can allow these images, these visuals to appear on your left side, right side, in front of you as you walk on this timeline. And now, if you can dare in your mind's eye, if you're still walking on the timeline that is now under you and in front of you, opening up, if you can stop. It's now Thursday, a week from now, and this very moment is behind you. How will it feel when you have accomplished the three most important tasks? How will it feel that most of what you had in your plan for the 7 days, that you did them, that you accomplished them? And now, next 3 months appear, unfold in front of you. The next 3 months, however the timeline of your life for next 3 months, however it appears to you, whether it's simply a line, a calendar, a path, whatever it is. Remembering what is important to you and the tasks you already accomplished. The next 3 months as you go forward, what are some of the things that you will and want to accomplish? And it can be on any level. It can be skills, it can be anything that you want to accomplish. Now you can walk there towards the end of the next 3 months and see yourself accomplishing those things. And better you can imagine it, better you can sense it, the more it will give direction to you. We are doing this simply to program behavior, to instill trust towards these things that they can be accomplished, because those two things will move you towards these actions. When we are visualizing ourselves from outside our body doing something, it affects our neocortex, which is responsible for future and, you could say, big picture behavior, new behavior. So as you walk there, fully embodying yourself in a relaxed way, in a confident way, feeling your whole body, your hips, your feet, your stomach, your hands, your shoulders are moving in a relaxed way, your facial muscles are relaxed. As you walk there on the path of the next 3 months of your life, see yourself accomplishing, doing those important things. Focus especially on the actions that you will initiate and do. Keep walking there. And there's nothing you can do right or wrong in this visualization. Simply allow it to unfold the way it's unfolding. And now, as you are moving even closer to the end of the next 3 months, you are there already somewhere in June. Allow a whole year to unfold in front of you. Now it might be more challenging to imagine specific actions, so you can have a bit more bigger picture plan. Now behind you is 2022, June, May, April, March. They are behind you. You accomplished the things in your plan, and now another whole year unfolds in front of you. What are some projects, some accomplishments, some learnings, some courses, some relationships? What are things that you see unfolding and becoming important, the possibilities? As you walk there in this timeline of your life, what's unfolding? What do you want to see unfolding? As you walk there and as the things unfold, as images pop up, as you direct yourself, do your best to sense how are some of the things feeling. And nothing you need to do with those sensations, simply notice them. You're moving all the way to 2023. All those things that were important to you, the qualities you wanted to manifest, the people you wanted to impact, how you wanted to be, who you wanted to be, has been now manifested in action, in behavior, in accomplishments. You are somewhere the beginning of 2023. What will then unfold as you've accomplished things, as you've grown as a person? What's becoming now even more possible? What are you focusing on? Now allow for the next 10 seconds yourself in relaxed and in swift way to walk all the way to the end of 2023. And in 5 seconds, you arrive to the end of 2023. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This day is already 1.5 years behind you. You've done all those things. If you can now turn your chest, your front part of your body back to the past so that you can see from the future all the way to March 2022 as you are there at the end of 2023. And if you can notice that there's this space above you, this pull, this gentle pull, like a spiral of energy above you that gently pulls you up. You can feel your head getting lighter, your throat, your shoulders, your chest, your heart, your lungs, your upper back, your lower back, stomach, hips, thighs, knees, calf muscles, ankles, toes, soles of your feet, all becoming light, and you're moving upwards. This gentle pull, pulling you upwards. You're floating 10 meters, 30 feet above the ground. 50 meters, 150 feet, you are going higher, higher, up, almost there, all the way up in the sky. And here, from far away from the ground, you can see yourself there at March 2022. And you can see how that you is moving, how they're going through the year, what they're going through, what they're feeling, what they're struggling with, what they are doing. Do not give up. It's that you, the past you, doing their best to move forward, accomplishing things, feeling things, realizing things, overcoming things. Just see yourself, see that past you moving towards to the place where you are already now. And as you're coming slowly to the end of this visualization, if you can make a deep wish, if you can send an advice, if you can send any encouragement, any feeling, any prayer even towards that you who's moving there from 2022 towards the next things, the bigger things in life, even more meaning. What is it that here from the future you want to send to the past you? What do you want your past you to remember? What's important to keep in mind? And now if you can allow yourself to completely let go, just your whole body dissolves into the surroundings, everything in the visualization, the timeline, the past you, the present you, the sky above, the space behind and in front simply welcomes your awareness. And whatever you experienced, whatever insights you have, whatever inspiration, whatever realizations, if you can know and remember that they are true, They aren't some things that you experienced in only because of this. Everything we just now did was simply to allow you to have shifts and openings for insights that you already have to come to your mind. Everything we did was simply to bring any insight that you already have and any inspiration that you already have to bring to your present. So now, as you go and continue your day and your week, you can remember that it's not that you're now going back to something normal, but you're continuing from this mind state. And thank you for joining.
Thank you for
All
leading.
right.
Thank you for leading that. Have a wonderful day, everyone. We'll see you back here again.